Dear Shrestha viewers, welcome. A very good morning. Today the board is blank. I just want to give a small hint and then start my class of what I am going to teach today. Till now, what we have discussed. Let's take a preview of last class. Like for every serial, we'll have that recent episode and then we'll move forward, right, in the same way. So in the last class we were talking about the differences and the interdependence between micro and macro economics. Yes, today I am going to explain a concept which is the best example of macroeconomics, but it is really important in microeconomic analysis. Did you understand the puzzle? Try to solve it. I am repeating it again. Today I am going to explain a best example concept of macroeconomics which is helpful in studying microeconomics. You know what's that? Any guess? Yes, it is national income. So today we are going to deal with national income and its concepts. So why late? Let's start. So as in every topic we deal with the definition first. We have definition or an opinion stated by Paul A. Samuelson for national income. As I say always, it is also easy if you understand. Okay, let's read it first to understand. National income or product is the final figure you arrive at when you apply the measuring rod of money on diverse apples, oranges, different commodities, battleships, machines, assets, etc. and that any society produces through its factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, organization is itself the factors of production. So in order to produce all these things, we take the help of factors of production, that is land, for which we get the rent, labor, we pay wages, capital, interest, organization, profit. This combinedly it goes to national income. Okay, and here national income basically, did you understand what is the definition here? Shall I read it for you? I'll explain. So Paul Samuelson says that a national income is a final figure or output that we receive through giving, applying this measuring rod of money, those formulas and all, on the diverse products, services we market every day, we do businesses, we earn many things, on which we apply all these formulas and derive some output out of it. Yes, so that usually any society does, and how will it do? Through its factors of production. That's what he means. And now other meaning is like generally national income. What is the national income? If you are singly earning, then it is called as an individual income. If a family collectively is earning some income, that is called family's income. In the same way, all these combined income at the national level is called national income. So here this national income is interpreted through three ways. Firstly, we have to understand the basic point that one's expenditure is always a receipt to another person. Okay, and here we have three stages in national income. Okay, improving stage, stagnant stage, that is constant stage, and declining stage. Declining stage in the sense there we don't have any kind of development. We don't have any factors to contribute the rise of the country. and stagnant or constant, which means it is in the same place wherever it is. Either there is no improvement or there is no declining level. Okay, but if you are coming to an improving or increasing level, it means that the rate of per capita income of the country is improved, so that obviously the standard of living of every individual in the country improves. Then what is per capita income here? Per capita income is the average income of the individuals in the country. Okay, we have formulas for that. That is the concept we are learning in this national income today. If you are understanding what is national income, then you will further able to understand the concepts of national income. So I want to make it clear before going into concepts what is national income. So I already gave you the definition. Here he is saying that I am repeating it again. Just clear this point here itself, so that you will be damn clear when you are going into concepts. Concepts are really easy. We have little formulas which we have to remember, else that everything is really easy. So this is why am I stressing a lot on it, because it is a really important question, actually an important topic that everyone has to know. Okay, so national income, according to Samuelson, it is a final product or figure that is arrived by by applying some measuring rod or a formulas or a measurement on products and services we produce and provide it to the people, and then on that, and that is like every society produces through its factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, organization. This is about the definition which he gave you. Even if it is complicated, in general terms, what is national income? If someone asks you, you can simply write a national income is an income which is collectively from the nationwide, and it is interpreted in three ways, and the basic question or the answer, the basic answer which we can give is, one, expenditure of a person is obviously a receipt to another, and here in national income we have three ways, that is increasing stage, stagnant or constant stage, and declining stage. Declining is always declining, there is no improvement or there is no constant levels, so there is no improvement or there is not at all any change in standard of living or any their lifestyle. And in constant level, that means there is not much growth or not even less growth. Okay, it is in the normal level. And if it is in an increasing stage, it means that there is a high growth of per capita income, that is the average income earned by individual in the country, and also that obviously improves the standard of living of a person. So this is what generally the meaning of national income. Are you clear now? Let's go into the concepts. Yes, if you are not clear, pause the video up to here. Keep listening it again and again, you will get it very easily. Okay, now let's go into the concepts. So here we are with the first concept of national income, that is GDP, gross domestic product. Okay, listen very carefully from here. As I told you, these concepts are very important. So what is gross domestic product actually? I'll tell you. Gross domestic product, first, before knowing it actually, I want to give you a small thing, like it is used in microeconomic analysis and in policy formulation. Okay, I already gave you the hint before I was starting the class that I am going to introduce a topic which is of a macroeconomic nature but is useful in microeconomics. Yes, so this gross domestic product is used in microeconomic analysis in policy formulation. Then coming to GDP, what it is? It is a flow of goods and services that is according to sold according to market price in a certain period of time, say about 1 year, is what the definition we all know. What is that? Repeat again. Flow of goods and services set according to the market price in the certain period called 1 year, or we can already say simply aggregate terms of goods and services that is produced annually. Okay, and now we have two ways of measuring GDP. That is what? These both the formulas. First we'll deal with this formula, that is GDP is equals to GRO plus EX minus M. What it is actually says that GRO, gross retained output, EX, exports, M is the market price. So it is obtained from the gross retained product, out of which we are going to deduct the exports and market price, is what? One type of finding out GDP. Okay. So then the other type of finding is GDP is equals to MR plus IF minus IR. What is MR plus IF minus IR? Now we have the concept called residents, non-residents. Residents are the local people staying in our own country, and non-resident Indian or non-residents are the people who are the residents of other country but settled here or came on the purpose for few days or few months or some years. Okay, so here we have this kind of people. Okay, then MR. What is MR? Market price of goods and services produced by residents of our country. Our residents of our country has set a market price for goods and services produced by them, like by us. We set the market price because we produce the goods and services. And the other people are IF. What is that IF? Income earned in country by foreigners. So suppose I am a foreigner, I am settled here and I am earning income from your products. That is that income I earned from this country. Okay, and income earned by residents of nations in another countries. So I am the resident of India, but I am earning income in some other country. Yes, there foreigners are earning in our country, and when I am going to foreign and I am earning from other countries, from other nations, it is called IR, that is income earned by residents of nations. That is, my nation is this, but I am earning some income from another country. Yes, so that is a formula. So these are the two types of formulas to calculate GDP. So why are they formulated? Because firstly, to find out the market price and value, and what are the retained exports, what are the exports mainly, what are the things that income we get on exports, to find out that. And also we have foreigners and other people existing or living in our country, so we also have to assume and take them into consideration, and we have to make that. And gross domestic product is about whole country, right? So we have to consider each and every individual who is living in our country, either it is resident or non-resident. We have to take into consideration each and every point and frame the policies. So that is how these two formulas are used to calculate gross domestic product. And what is gross domestic product? Now again, simply it is a flow of goods and services with a fixed market price for a certain period called 1 year, or an aggregate amount of goods and services that is produced annually. Yes, these are the two types of explaining, and it doesn't have any connection with the people, are you resident or non-resident. It only takes the consideration of commodities and its prices. And if you are earning income, that is also calculated, and if you are expecting something from here, you are spending something, each and every rupee is calculated on when it comes to some commodities, goods and services. That is what called as GDP, gross domestic product. Are you clear? Now let's move into the next concept. So in the last thing we have discussed about GDP. Now we are going to discuss what is GNP. Now this GNP, I want to explain it under three categories. That is, first A point, that is what is GNP? Gross National Product, or it is also called as Gross National Income. What is that? Now we have studied GDP, that it is just a flow of goods and services set by some market price in the certain period called 1 year. But here this GNP is the final value of goods and services with market price within a given period of time for 1 year. Okay, it is a final value of goods and services that is produced in a country in 1 year. Okay, so here again we have a formula. Okay, so what is that? GNP is equals to GDP plus NFIA. What is NFIA? Net factor income from abroad. So the products which we produce is not only used by us but also exported to abroad for other countries. Even other countries are using our product. So we can also take the abroad income into our consideration as it is our products income. Yes. So when GDP accumulated along with NFIA, that is net factor income abroad, then we get gross national product is what? 1 point. Then the second point I want to say is GNP at factor cost. I want to remind you what are the factors of production: land, labor, capital, organization. When we are using these 4 factors, we should also consider and keep in mind about the factor payments. Yes or no? So it is like gross national product should also see the factor payments like rent for land, wages for laborers, interest for capital, and profits for organization, and depreciation for assets. This kind of things. So collectively it is called as GNP at factor cost. This is the second point. And the third point is money value of goods and services produced in our country and abroad. That's what this formula came, NFIA, that is net factor income abroad. So even the value goods are produced in our country, but because it is exported to another countries and people of there are also using our products, and the money value of goods and services that is produced in our country and another countries also comes under gross national product. That is what the third point says. So what are the 3 points? Firstly, gross national product. What is gross national product? The final value of goods and services produced in a country in a given period of time, that is 1 year, is what called as gross national product. I will repeat you again. The final value of goods and services produced in a country in a given period of time, that is 1 year, is called gross national product. How it is measured? Gross national product equals to GDP plus NFIA. What is that? National income from abroad. Is that the thing? Net factor income abroad. Okay, net factor income abroad. So what does it mean? Gross product, gross domestic product is what we learnt is flow of goods and services in a country in a year is what called as gross domestic product, and we have measured it. Now along with that, okay, that is gross. This is net national thing. So along with NFIA will get the gross national product or gross national income is the first point. And then secondly, GNP at factor cost. Here we have to remember 4 factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, organization. And when we are using these factors of production, we should also remember about the factor payments, that is rent for land, wages for labor, interest for capital, profits for organization, depreciation for assets. Yes, all these 4 factors of production, and this is again newly derived, that is depreciation for assets. Obviously it is involved when assets are there, it will be getting depreciated year by year. We have to calculate even that. So Collectively it is called as, because we are considering also payments, it is also called as gross national income at factor cost. Okay. Then the third point in gross national product is money value of goods and services produced in our country and also in abroad, because as I told you, goods are produced in our country, but it is also exported to other country because people at there are also using our products. So when they are using our products, also they have to pay that product value amount, that money, that income belongs to our country. So even we can take that count into consideration. Okay, these are the 3 points of gross national product. I hope we are clear. Let's move to the next point. So we are into third point and fourth point here. Both are similar, so I am trying to explain by comparing both the points here so that you can easily understand. Okay, so we studied 2 points: gross domestic product, gross national product. Yes, so this is a combination of those 2 points. In net national product we are going to use GNP, and in net domestic product we are going to use GDP. Why? Didn't you find something common? Here we are talking about net national product and gross national product. National, it is sinking. Okay, so we are comparing here by gross national product minus depreciation, and here like gross domestic product minus depreciation. Okay, coming to net national product. What is net national product? How do we obtain it? Okay, we obtain net national product is equals to, it is the difference of GNP minus depreciation of assets. Okay, then we get NNP. What is D here? Depreciation. And same with this, we get NDP, net domestic product, when we find out a difference between gross domestic product minus depreciation. Both NNP and NDP are of vital importance in microeconomic analysis, which helps us to study more important concepts like investments, etc. So this is really important in framing policies and much more important in investment decision making kind of concepts and aspects. So what is NNP and what is GDP? How do we obtain it? These are the formulas. I already said you what are the definitions of gross national product, gross domestic product, and these are the derivations from which we get different thing. And net is the deduction. Net means we get the actual value. Okay, like for example we get net purchases, like purchases minus returns is equals to net purchases. We get like that, right? In the same way, net national product is equals to gross national product minus, we are depreciating some value of assets here. So some expenses are gone and then remaining is what we get it. So that is what called as net national product. And here also it is the same, net domestic product, out of which we are deducting depreciation from gross domestic product. So even in GNP we are not depreciating, or we are not taking out the difference of depreciation. Even that should be taken out. Like whenever we want to calculate some income, we have to take out all the expenses out of it to find out the final income. Yes. So in the same way, to calculate the net national product, we are going to deduct depreciation from GNP, then we are going to get NNP, that is net national product. The same thing with NDP, net domestic product. How we are calculating it? GDP minus depreciation. Okay. So both are simultaneously important for microeconomic analysis and also in investment and decision making. Okay. So these are the 3 and 4 concepts, that is net national income or net national product and net domestic product. Now let's move on to the 5th point. So we are moving on to the 5th point, that is real and nominal national income. Here we are going to take a little bit point of accounts into consideration, like real account and nominal account. What will real account deal with? What will nominal account deal with? Real account deals with assets. Nominal account deals with expenses, losses, incomes and gains. Yes or no? So here I want to say that expenses or everything depends to nominal account. So anything relates to certain current price comes under nominal national income, like that keeps changing. Current price is some X amount, but after few days or after some weeks it will not be the same as now. It keeps changing. So that is nominal national income. Like we can take the examples of gold rate, that keeps changing now and then. It won't be the same. And also some normal daily products like vegetables, fruits, etc. Actually, according to its demand and rates, it keeps increasing and decreasing. And also you can take best example is shares. Okay. So these are the examples of nominal thing. And what is real account? Assets. And will it keep change again and again? It will be on constant price itself, prevailing to some basic years. For some period of years it won't change, like value of land, value of some machinery, value of some plant or furniture, etc. Okay, based on the years. That's the reason we calculate depreciation, right? For year by year it keeps changing, not monthly or weekly. Yes or no? So that is what, if it is constant and it won't change between the year, and if it is prevailing for continuously for 1 year, then it is called real national income. And if it is based on the current price, then it is called nominal national income. That is what called as real or nominal national income. Now we are moving into the sixth point, that is per capita income. We are not so confused about this topic because we are repeating it from our school days. We know per capita income. This is a term we heard many times. Yes or no? Then you can respond for this. What is per capita income? Per capita income is the average income earned by population in the country. How it is calculated? Per capita income is equals to national income of that particular year divided by population of that year is what called as per capita income. It is simple. Per capita income is equals to national income of that year divided by population of that year is called per capita income. Average income earned by population in a year is called per capita income. And you are clear with real and nominal national income. So let's move to the seventh point. So we are moving on into the seventh point. It is called as personal disposable income or disposable income. This is, I guess this will be the favorite topic for everybody, because if you are getting a money to spend for your own wish, won't you be happy? So that is the same point here, same concept, that is the amount which is left to our wish to spend. Like after taking out all the taxes, all the payments, the amount which is left to us to dispose it of however we wish is what called as disposable income. Okay, so how it is calculated? Disposable income is equals to personal income minus personal taxes. So as I told you, once after deducting all the taxes, all the things which you have to pay, all the payments, then the leftover income which is with you, you can use it for your own benefits, your own luxuries, your own comforts, etc. So with your own personal amount, you can go for a movie, you can go for a park, you can go for a tour, you can buy some luxurious items for yourself, and because it is summer, you can't go outside, it's damn hot, so you can book an air conditioner for yourself at home. You can set up that, like for your own profits and for your own benefits, for your own luxuries. You can dispose of that amount by your wish, like you can spend lavishly. That is what called as disposable income. Clear with that? So let's move on to the next point. So now we are moving into the 8th point, that is net national product at market price. Okay, we have seen net national product, net domestic product, previous points. Yes. So what did we do there? To get net national product, we deducted depreciation from gross net domestic product and net national product, GNP, etc. Right? NNP is equals to GNP minus depreciation, and NDP is equals to GDP minus depreciation. We have done the same. So here also we have a small change, that is at market price. Okay. So we added at the value of market price to find out what is net national product. Usually we found out normally what is the formula, or normally what is the net national product before. But now at market price, what is the value? NNP at market price equals to gross national product at market price minus depreciation. Okay. Here it is at market price, here also it is at market price. So that is called net national product at market price. If I say you simply that products, that is the value added, the gross national product value of for the goods and services at market price added by all the producers is what called as that market price. Okay, that is net national product at market price is equals to GNP at market price minus depreciation. Okay, clear with 8th point. Now 9th point, GDP at market price. Now what will you say? Here also it is the same case. It is the value added for all the goods and services by all the producers, that is the gross domestic product values and gross values added for the goods and services by the producers at that market price or market value, inclusive of taxes, including taxes and excluding subsidies on imports. We have subsidies on imports, we have to exclude that, but include the taxes. That is what called as GDP at market price. GDP at market price equals to the gross values added by the producers for the goods and commodities at market price, inclusive of taxes minus subsidies on imports, is what called as gross domestic product at market price. Are you clear with net national product at market price and GDP at market price? Then it is easy to understand the further concepts, that is NNP at factor cost and GDP at factor cost. Let's move to them. So we are left with the 2 more concepts of national income, that is NNP at factor cost, GDP at factor cost. Okay. So we have seen at market price, now we are seeing at factor cost. Now NNP at factor cost means the output which net national product at factor cost means the output we have gained from factor prices. Okay. And how it is calculated? For NNP at market price, NNP at factor cost equals to NNP at market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. Okay, we have indirect taxes also. So what is NNP at factor cost? NNP at factor cost is equals to NNP at the rate of market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. And what we have another formula also, that is GNP, that is also included in this. that is net national product, this is gross national product. So in order to get again this net national product, small derivation is there in this also, that is GNP at the rate of market price minus depreciation minus indirect tax plus subsidies. What did we do for NNP? GNP minus depreciation, right? So when you are taking directly NNP, you need not depreciate. You can directly take it that, but when you are taking GNP, you have to take out the depreciated value to get the NNP. So this is also one way of finding out the NNP at factor cost. Okay. So in GNP at the rate of market price minus depreciation minus indirect tax plus subsidies. Common points, but the only difference is you are also deducting the depreciation. That is what called as NNP at factor cost. What is that? The output that is obtained from the factor price for factor cost is what called as net national product at factor cost. Now we are seeing GDP at the rate of factor cost. Now what is that? That is the sum of value added by all the producers for that cost, and the depreciation during the accounting period, that is called GDP at the rate of factor cost, equals to GDP at the rate of, what is this, market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. It is the same thing. Here it is GNP and NNP, here it is GDP. Okay, it is at the domestic level, it is at the national level. Clear? It is summed up of all the commodities by it is collectively all the producers set an amount in that certain period, that is at a market price, and the depreciation during the accounting period is what called as GDP at the rate of factor cost. How it is obtained? GDP at the rate of factor cost equals to GDP at the rate of market price minus depreciation, minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. Clear? And in the same way we also have another one like NNP and GDP. These are the last points left. Are you clear with all the concepts that we have discussed from starting? And we have discussed 11 points. What are those? Comment and let me know. I won't tell you. You should know how many points you have learned till now. Okay. I hope I made relevant to the section, and if you felt that I left some points anywhere, try to recollect me those also, so that I can cover and let you know in other sessions. And if you have any doubts, comment even that, and kindly like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned to Shrestha. Thank you.